Happy July 5th, said practically nobody. It's July 5th version of Discover and Recover Yoga. Hopefully folks who are viewing this now or at some time in the future had a relaxing, safe, rejuvenating July 4th holiday. Kind of weird. Came in on a Tuesday. It feels right now, it feels like a Monday, but it's Wednesday. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Or Discover and Recover Yoga. Another opportunity to visit with you guys and to talk a little bit about this week's theme. From Viktor Frankl, the Austrian-born neurophysicist, neuroscientist. He's been gone for a number of decades now, I think mid-60s, but famous for several quotes, several books, out-of-the-box thinker. But this one resonates with me. It's between stimulus and response is space. Between stimulus and response is space. So obviously the suggestion is when we are stimulated, when our buttons are pushed, when the triggers are tripped, these tended to be more on the negative side. There is in my humble opinion, not so much a response, but a reaction. When we have that negative stimuli that's going to trip our triggers, is going to cause anxiety to increase, the tension to mount, there is a tendency as human beings to react, and that space is minimized, sometimes to just a second or two. Viktor Frankl, in his discussion around this, is to create space so that instead of the stimuli creating a reaction, it has more of an opportunity, the space does, to give us a pause and to respond. And the response is, that's going to denote something that's more compassionate, more thoughtful, more mindful on this journey that we're on called life. And trust me, you know it, I know it, we will all be stimulated at some point. There'll all be some kind of external stimuli that's going to create some kind of engagement in the physical body, in the emotional body, in the mental body. So we could perhaps remember to create some space, literally move to a different location in the room, in the space, in your home, go outside, breath, hello, creates, a breath practice to have that space filled with those deep diaphragmatic breath cycles to relieve that tension, let go of that tendency to react to the stimuli. I see it regularly in the recovery world. We somehow have missed that opportunity to take a pause, to find strength in the stillness, and there's a lot of reaction going on. Don't you know that can lead to some hurt feelings, to drama, to separation, to anger, to resentment, because our response was XYZ. So here we have an opportunity in this space at this time to practice creating some space. So please find your way onto your mat. I'm going to be sitting on this meditation cushion. That's with my legs in this crisscross applesauce position. You can do the legs in whatever position it feels comfortable. You can always come onto the knees. If it's painful for the knees, you can put cushion, there's yoga knees, which is a pad that goes underneath the knees. I have several students that use that. Legs coming out front, butterfly pose. If you have the opportunity to do fine lotus, it doesn't work for me because of what's happened over the course of the years with my hips. Right hip is 3 years old, left hip is approaching 200 days old. So let's settle in, acknowledging this moment. Whatever's transpired for you at this time, perhaps since the eyes popped open in the morning, feet hit the floor, coming out of the bed, just whatever's transpired, maybe it's happening relatively soon after those eyes opening and the feet hitting the floor, maybe it's later. Just recognize where you are in this moment, checking in with the physical body, Shout out to this vessel, to this container, which is our body, our bodies. Eyes open or closed, preferably closed, because finding yourself in a space that's safe, secure, looking to go judgment-free, competition-free, meeting yourself on the mat where you are on this journey, whether you've been practicing yoga for a long time, excuse me, whether this is a relatively new endeavor, just trust that you're in the right spot, in the right space. Yeah, my first name is Neil. Don't know if I introduced myself. Founder of At the Core. 30 years on this recovery path, 30 years on the alcohol-free path. Saying that just as a primer, just as a note, because it's the fabric of my being. I've been in this space for 3 decades, working with a number of sponsors and sponsees, reading the literature. 30 years ago, it was a big book. It was AA. It was the 12 and 12. It still is, but I'm noticing and observing other modes of recovery, especially from addiction, alcohol, and drugs. I have an opportunity to be working to teach yoga and mindfulness at a retreat at a treatment center here in the suburbs of Indianapolis, Indiana, Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, working with the clients there who are exhibiting a variety of addictions, whether it's alcohol or drugs or a number of other things. What a blessing it is to be with them. I know them from the recovery world. What I get to do, it's such a blessing, is to learn about them from a yoga perspective. Many of them have never been on a mat before. So noticing a lot of broken bodies and how we can, hopefully I can help them find ways to freedom of movement, freedom of expression, freedom of spirit. And then we breathe, noticing inhales and exhales, deepening the inhales and lengthening exhales. The common theme is, the common knowledge is that we can exhale longer than we inhale. And if muted, if you'd like, on the exhale to sigh it out. Got some students that like to flood the lips on the exhale. One of my favorite things to think about on the exhale is that you become a little more at ease, a little more grounded, a little more centered. Okay, here we go, DNR yoga folks. Let's draw the hands to the heart center on the next in-breath. Here's a transition, an opportunity, a chance to transition to nostril breathing, ujjayi breath. Fancy term for breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, often referred to as a victorious breath. Rationale here is that we help build lung capacity, lung endurance by nostril breathing. So I'm going to gently remind you when you're coming onto or to a brisk walk, when you're jumping on your bicycle, or if you're doing any indoor cycling, anything that's going to get the heart rate up, please check in with nostril breathing, see how that unfolds. Maybe set your watch, do it for 30 seconds, work your way up to a minute. Eventually, cardiovascularly, we'll turn to mouth breathing. And during this course of this practice, I'll suggest that we occasionally return to mouth breathing. Inhale, let's sweep the arms wide and high, the palms meet above the crown. On the exhale, it's just a gentle forward fold. You can come to the fingertips, come to the palms. Some will come to the forearms. I have a few students that bring the forehead to the floor. You might have a little side to side sway. You may stay completely still. Let's do this. Let's walk the hands over towards the right side. So you're probably hovering over that right thigh. Feel that expansion along the left side body. Left hip might want to pop a little bit. I'm on this meditation cushion, so I'm trying to maintain some connection to the surface on top of the cushion. So notice what you notice. If you're on your knees, this will be more like child's pose. If the legs are up front, you're just going to still extend through that left side body just a bit. Speaking of left side, inhale to lengthen through it just a bit, but here as we exhale, let's travel through center. All 10 fingertips to the left side. Now you might notice your kind of core is hovering over that left thigh. The little right side body. Feeling some expansion.
Inhale to lengthen through the right side, but as you exhale, let's come back to center. A little brief pause here. Soften the throat, soften the jaw. All right, eventually let's walk the hands towards the midline. Back into the heart center, whatever readjustment, reconnection takes place to your intention. Maybe there is sending some light, some love out to somebody in your midst. Maybe it is around the idea between response, between stimuli and response to space. Creating that space. Okay, let's simply uncross the legs. I'm going to take the cushion out from underneath my bum and then just lift into boat pose. Variation is grab the hamstrings. That's one variation. Hands down by the hips. Another. Energetic. There's my knee popping. Otherwise, maybe you can come into the full expression, just noticing what you notice in boat pose. So please modify, make it your own as we go for 5. Breathing steady into this for 4. Building some of that core work, breathing into that for 3. That's it, guys. Nice. Almost there for 2. Now, 1, soles of feet come back to the mat, hands down by the sides of the body. I'm going to heel toe those feet out towards the edges of the mat, and I'm going to begin this movement side to side, this windshield wipering. Shoulders stay relatively square to the top of the mat. Working on hip rotation, hip flexibility. Wish I'd have done this more in my 20s and 30s. At age 62 with 2 new hips. No, a lot of long distance running, not working on much hip flexion. Regret that now, but it is what it is. Here we go for 4, sweeping from side to side for 3. It's almost there for 2. Now on this last one, as we sweep it to the right, take this left arm all the way around. I'm going to try to bring both palms to the mat. Notice how I'm leaning fairly forward. I'm going to see if I can maybe lift the torso. Feet are flexed. I'm thinking about my right leg and left leg at about 90-degree angles. Just a nice twist to the torso. I'm so tight that I'm on my left fingertips. I can't quite bring my left palm down. I'm going to maybe keep that right shoulder, right wrist, and then alignment will hold for 3. Steady gaze, perhaps over the right shoulder for 2. All right, here we go, DNR folks. Let's untwist, but other side. So now this right arm comes across. Left hand is underneath left shoulder. I'm not facing you guys, but feet are flexed. They've got this 90-degree angle happening. Perhaps the steady gaze over that left shoulder. I'm going to try to lift the torso. We'll hold here for 4. Nice. Breathing steady into that for 3. It's almost there for 2. All right, please untwist. We're back to center. Okay. Soles of feet are back to about hip distance. Fingertips are down by the hands are down by the hips, or just past the hips. I like my fingertips pointing forward. Some prefer the fingertips pointing backwards. So you get to choose. Inhale, boat pose. Reverse table. So this will work the shoulders, the triceps. Some will gaze to the ceiling. I've got a couple of students that have that cervical spine flexibility that they let the gaze go to the back of the mat. We'll hold here for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Part of 1, please lower back down. A lot of students need to give the wrists a little roll out, a little shake out. Nice. All right. Hands back down by the hips. Option fingertips backwards or fingertips bridge, reverse table number 2. Nice. Option now is to come up onto the tiptoes. That's going to work things a lot differently for some, especially for calves. Nice. Some may feel that into the hamstrings. So we hold here for 4. Nice. Breathing steady into that for 3. Beautiful. Breathing into that for 2. All right. With control, let's slowly lower everything down. Okay. Please, whatever needs to be kind of reset. Wrists, fingers, maybe that shake out. Maybe the legs need. All right. Third version of reverse table. You got it, guys. We're almost there. We lift. From this is we're extending that right leg out. So I'm going to try to keep right thigh in alignment with the left thigh as we hold for 3. Maybe give that right ankle some motion. You can squeeze that left butt cheek. Here we go for 2. All right. Eventually, right foot lowers down. Left leg comes out. Same thing, other side. Left thigh is in alignment there with that right thigh. We give that left ankle some motion. Here we go for 4. Hello, right butt cheek. Here's 3. Breathing into that for 2. All right, everything lowers down. Ooh, beautiful, guys. Work it out. Let it go. All right, here we go. However you want to find your way into hands and knees. I'm going to just draw my knees back. Bring my wrists underneath my shoulders. Knees underneath my hips. Inhaling for cow. Exhale for cat. So there you go. Inhale, we'll dip the navel low. Lift the gaze high. Exhale, chin tucks and back round. So let's classic. I think 97% of the sessions I've either been a student in or have been instructed has cat-cow. Sometimes it's done standing. I teach some chair yoga, so we do it seated. But here we are classically on all fours. So let's keep going. A few more rounds, please. Inhaling for cow. Exhale for cat. Still breathing. Go for 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Last one. You back to neutral. Okay. Some of you might remember this next motion, this next movement, this next posture from a few weeks ago. Right leg comes to the back of the mat. Wrists and shoulders stay aligned. I'm going to draw the right foot over towards the left side of the mat. Land the ball of that right foot on something that's sticky, whether it's carpet, linoleum, maybe a vinyl floor, and you're gazing down that left side body. So that's going to draw that right hip open towards the right side. I'm going to really engage through that left Achilles, that left calf, onto the ball, that left foot as we hold here for 3. Breathing steady into that for 2. All right, now on 1, realign that right leg to the back, bend it. Think about thigh parallel to the floor. Think about calf perpendicular and the foot flexed, and let's pulse it up. So little pulses, thinking about bringing the sole and the ball of feet, ball of the foot to the ceiling. Some do this with a weight in between, right there at the back of the knee. Here we go for 4. Little pulses, breathing into that for 3. And feel that into the right butt cheek and maybe that lumbar area for 2. All right, now on 1, lower down. Okay. Okay. Again, if I've got a lot of students, the wrists become an issue because flexing the wrist in tabletop is a challenge. You can do this from the fists. Doesn't work so well for me. Fortunately, I can place my palms to the mat, but here we go. Left leg extends back. Left foot to the right side of that. Landed on the sticky, something sticky. Gaze down the right side body, please. So energize through that right, left Achilles, left calf. Open that left side body. Let the gaze slide down the right edge. Right edge. Beautiful. We'll hold here for 4. Breathing steady into that for 3. Here's 2. Nice. Now let that left leg go long. Yep. You're going to bend that left knee. Same thing other side. And pulse it up. Lifting as high as it'll go. Squeeze that left butt cheek. We'll go for 4. Here's 3. 2. Last one. Left knee relowers. Big toes to touch. Draw the knees out wide. Child's pose. As you find yourself in this restorative posture, you'll notice oftentimes in child's pose, highly encouraged getting fuller and richer and deeper on the inhale. And please, the exhale is your release. Let that space be created when the stimuli comes, when the buttons are pushed, when the going gets rough. Such a tool, such a fabulous therapeutic tool to release the tension. Let go of the bitterness, the anger, especially those, those things that are associated with a response, a reaction to the stimuli. Okay. Inhale back up to table. And then let's do this. Tuck the toes, lift hips, first downward dog. So taking advantage of upside down. Chest towards thigh, gaze towards the belly button. Ooh, yeah. A lot of energy at the top of the mat, a lot of energy at the back of the mat. Ooh. A movement of the head, yes or no. Inhale, the right leg will lift. And it may lift an inch. It may go a little higher. Doesn't matter. Eventually, let's bring that that right foot forward. It is low lunge. You can do this with that left knee down if you'd like. But I'm going to have the left knee lifted as we rise up to high lunge. So right foot is forward, left foot is back, either left knee lifted or left knee lowered. Inhale like a bit more as you exhale, draw the hands to the heart center. Left elbow to right thigh. Left elbow to right thigh. Lovely twist is happening as you energetically draw energy through that left Achilles left. Again, left knee can stay lowered as we hold for 3. Beautiful. Maybe bringing the hands closer to heart center for 2. Now, on 1, let's untwist and frame that left foot. Right foot. Left hand stays, right hand lifts. Left hand to the instep of that left foot. Right arm is to the sky as we hold for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now, big transition has come up. Press into that left palm and lift up. Press into the left palm and lift up. So you've got this little awkward spin. Right arm is back, left arm is front as we hold for 3. Beautiful guys, breathing into that for 2. Now, please, on 1, sweep that left foot up to meet the right foot, mountain pose, top of the mat. All right. Let everything kind of reset, realign, readjust. Inhale, sweep arms wide and maybe a little tiny back bend. Exhale, let's swan dive. Ride the breath all the way down, flat back, powerful. Peace fingers are mat or palms to shins, half lift. Exhale, fold it deep. One more time. Palms to shins or peace fingers to mat, half lift. So think about that core going parallel to the floor, and then we fold it back in. Now, if you feel warmed up enough, you can hop it back. Otherwise, just walk it back to plank position. Another power pose. Nice. This can be done, you know what I'm saying, from the knees. So hopefully those wrists are right underneath the shoulders. We'll hold for 3. Maybe get a yogi push-up or 2 as I'm talking through this for 2. Now on 1, hips high, heels low, downward dog. Okay. The reset is there. Shimmy into this, relax into this. Inhale, left leg lifts. Ooh. As you exhale, yes, left foot's going to come to the top of the mat as best you can get it there. Beautiful. Can be done with that left knee lowered, that right knee lowered. But so either the right knee lowered or the right knee lifted as we rise up, high lunge on this side. Left foot is forward, right foot is back, biceps by the ears. In a length of the knees, exhale, hands come to the heart center. Let's begin to twist. Right elbow to left thigh. Right elbow to left thigh. If that right knee is lifted, they're really extending through that right Achilles, right calf. If the right knee is lowered, you can still process this posture as we hold for 3. Nice steady gaze over that left shoulder. Breathing into that for 2. Now, please untwist. Frame that left foot. Right hand stays, left hand lifts. Revolve crescent. Right hand to the mat. Left arm to the sky as we hold for 3. Again, right knee to lower, right foot flat. Breathing into that for 2. Now on 1, press into that right palm and lift up. Awkward spin. Probably a steady gaze over that left shoulder as we hold for 3. Really long through the fingertips for 2. Now on 1, sweep that right foot up to meet the left. Mountain pose. Checking in with your posture. Got a wardrobe check. Yeah. All is well. Mountain pose. Deep breath in, steady breath out. Weight shifting into this right leg. Left leg lifts. Okay, something we haven't done yet. So it's balance. It's a hip, left ankle to right thigh. And I'm going to start to bend that right knee. Bring the hands to the heart center. We'll call this one-legged chair pose. Left ankle to right thigh, one-legged chair pose. Hopefully you'll feel that into that left hip flexor. Left foot is flexed, right knee bends. Maybe it bends a little deeper as we find this version, balance. If you've got a prop, as in a chair or a wall, something that can keep you balanced here as we hold for 4. Breathing steady into that for 3.
That's nice, almost there for 2. All right, let's re-straighten that left leg, that right leg, and release. Yes. Dare I say, I do say, we're back to mountain. So assess this version of your mountain pose, Tadasana. And get to this powerful pose. Talking, past sessions of DNR yoga, the majesty, the brilliance, the resilience of mountains. Gosh, what a thing. Weight, you guessed it. Weight shift to that left leg, right leg lifts. So take a moment to build this. Again, a wall, a chair is a great prop. Guess what? Right ankle to left thigh. Left knee starts to bend, hands come to the heart space. I've got this right foot flexing. I'm going to find that balance as best I can. Nice. Prayer center. Send a prayer up for this posture. We'll hold for 4. People, maybe you can bend that left knee, go a little deeper if your body agrees with that for 3. That's nice. Almost there for 2. All right, on 1, re-straighten that left leg. Back to mountain. Okay, whatever that reset is, to shimmy, to let go. I like to kind of hit the butt cheeks. Actually, that reminds me of this posture. So from mountain, we make a fist, maybe a medium fist. This is from the Qigong practice, the process of ringing the temple bell. So all I'm doing is letting those fists at some level of intensity tap the side bodies, back body. So this is it. You might be coming higher up the torso, more towards lung height. Maybe you're coming medium down, or maybe you're going low towards kidneys. So making that connection, that brilliant connection to warm, wake up. We go for 4. It's ringing the temple bell. 5 for 3. Oh, here's 2. Last 1. So return to neutral. I was going to say return to normal. We left the normal with that. It's like my shirt almost blends in with the color of the room. Mountain pose. We'll sweep the arms wide. Maybe again, a little back bend. And please, swan dive. Lead with the heart. Flat back. Powerful. Oh, yeah. Guess what? Peace fingers to mat. 4 palms to shins, half lift. Exhale, we'll go back in. One more time. Peace fingers to mat, palms to shins, half lift. Exhale, release it. Nice. I'm going to suggest you walk the feet back to downward dog. If you want to go high push-up to low push-up, we call it chaturanga, that's an option. Otherwise, you're nicely organized, repositioned in the downward dog, and we're going to twist. Inhale the right arm to the ceiling. Little downward dog twist. Exhale, it comes down. Inhale the left arm to the ceiling. Exhale, back down. One more time. Inhale, the right arm lifts. Exhale, back down. Inhale, the left arm lifts. Exhale, back down, please. Lower to both knees. We'll tuck the toes. Okay, friends. Option is to sink the hips to the heels and find hero's pose. Now, you guys might recall a prop is a blanket placed between the hamstrings and the calves. Pillow, this cushion placed between the hamstrings and the calves. Yeah, if neither one of those versions works, simply bringing the hips off of the heels into this, we'll call this mountain pose in these, but if it's available, hips to heels. Okay. I'm going to suggest now that we widen the knees just a bit. Let the heels come outside of the hips. So my heels are outside of my hips. I know this is big. Another tool, another prop is taking a book or a block and letting your bum, your butt cheek, find the top of that block. So I've got the fingertips outside of my feet, and I'm going to walk the hands backwards. This is quad stretch, pillow quad stretch. Some will find themselves to come further down, bringing the forearms to the mat. I'm going to try to do this without lifting the knees off the mat. So purposely keeping the knees grounded. Nice. Some will be able to come all the way onto their shoulder blades in the back of the head.
That doesn't work for me, so I'm just gonna stay on the forms as we hold for 3. Breathing steady into that for 2. Nice. Now eventually I'm gonna walk it back up. Keep coming forward. Now, if you had that prop, let it go. Coming back to table. Now let's do the counter of that quad stretch. Let's go ahead, come on to the ball of that right foot to the sticky mat, walk the hands forward, and let's stretch that right Achilles, right calf. It may sound counterintuitive to hyperextend that right knee, but that might be an opportunity to really engage in that quad in a different fashion, in a different direction. Hold for 3, breathing into that for 2. And I'm also grabbing the front edge of the mat to try to maybe stretch the mat long ways. Now bring that right knee back underneath the right hip. Ball of the left foot comes back. So I'm really grabbing the front edge of the mat, pressing through that left Achilles. Biceps are by the ears. In an attempt to stretch the mat long ways, we'll hold for 3. Oh yeah, nice. Almost there for 2. All right, eventually, left knee back underneath left hip. Wrists and shoulders realign. Big breath in, big breath out. Retuck the toes, relift hips down. All right, please walk the hands backwards. You might do that with a deep, deep bend into the knees. You're going to be standing forward, fold back of the mat. Peace fingers from out of palms to shins. I sound like a broken record, but draw the crown of the head forward, and then please let it go. Arms are out like wings. Reverse swan dive will take us to standing. Palms meet above the crown of the head. Give yourself a hand. And then heart space. All right, well, wardrobe check. So we're at the back of the mat. We've got this expansive mat that we can work with. Checking the time. Okay, for a simple way to get into the warrior series, I'm going to take this left foot forward. I'm going to take my right foot out a bit, out away. So my feet are on railroad tracks. They're not on a balance beam. But I am going to go ahead and attempt to draw my right hip forward and my left hip back. Warrior 1, biceps by the ears. A lot of energy to the outer edge of this right foot. Some teachers will talk more of like right heel, left heel to left, right heel alignment, but I like more of the railroad track version. Warrior 1. Big posture, I get that. As we hold for 3. Nice. Think about string of the sternum, take that chest high. Maybe a little deeper bend into that front knee for 2. Now do this on 1, draw the hands to the hips, sweep that right foot up to meet the left foot. So you're probably somewhere in the mid mat, hands on the hips. I dare you to go into the meeting like this. Your next, whether it's a bit at work, at home, if your hands on the hips, go into the meeting like this. All right, let's release hands. All right, from the position you are on the mat, left leg comes back. Right knee is bent. I've got, again, feet on the railroad track. I've got that left foot at a bit of an angle, trying to draw my left hip forward and my right hip back. Again, my hips are fake. My hips are artificial. So, this creates a little bit of a challenge, but I'm gonna do the best I can. Arms by ears, warrior 1 on this side. So right foot is forward, left foot is back. A lot of energy, outer edge of that left foot. I'm trying to engage this posture. Maybe a deeper bend into that right knee. We'll hold for 4. All right, heart lifts, maybe the gaze goes to the ceiling for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now, 1 hands to the hips. Left foot sweeps up. Mountain pose. Somewhere towards the top of the mat. So re-engage here in your mountain pose, minimizing that forward head tilt. Thank you to partner Paula for the concept, the notion, the idea to minimize that forward head tilt. Okay, wait, once again, let's take more of the left foot to more of the center of the mat. Right foot back, left heel to bisect the instep of that right foot. Torso should probably is facing that right side of the mat. Left arm is forward, right arm is back. Warrior 2. So so now I'm torso is facing the right edge of the mat. I've got left heel to right instep alignment, nice bend, and it's left arm forward, right arm back. Warrior 2. We'll sweep the left hand high, right hand goes low, maybe it slides down the right leg, some wrap that right arm around the low back and find the top of the left hip as we exalt here. You maybe gaze to the outstretched left fingertips, maybe the outer edge of that right foot as we hold for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now let's release it back out to the warrior 2, please. So long through those fingertips, steady gaze, top of the left hand. Can you sink a little lower, perhaps? I have a tendency to let my torso release more to the front. So I'm going to try to extend through the right fingertips to the back, extend through the left fingertips in front. We'll hold for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now, eventually on 1, right foot sweeps up to meet the left. Okay. I won't be facing the camera on this one. So once you're back to this regal mountain pose, right foot more to the center of the mat, right knee's bent. We get that left foot at an angle, and we have right heel to left instep alignment. Torso's facing the left side of the mat, arms out like wings. Right arm is forward, left arm is back. Soft through the shoulder, soft through the throat. Maybe you can lower a little deeper, but hopefully right knee and right ankle are relatively stacked. Inhale, right hand high, left hand low. Again, maybe the outstretched gaze to the outstretched right fingertips, maybe the outer edge of that left foot as we maybe work that cervical spine a bit as we hold for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Release it back out to the warrior 2, please. Okay. So I'm trying to extend through the left fingertip to the back, right fingertips to the front. We'll hold for 4. Check in with that breath. Hopefully it's flowing like water for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now on 1, left foot sweeps up to meet the right foot. Hello, mountain. Yeah. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Hands come back into heart space. Coming back to your purpose, your intention, your idea, your concepts. Remember, between stimulus and response is that space. Can we create that space to be of benefit to those in our midst? We can create less drama, less heartache, less misunderstanding, less anxiety. Hands onto the thighs. We're walking the hands down the thighs, past the knees, onto the shins, and we forward fold. Bind of some sort, grab the calves, grab the Achilles tendon, maybe peace fingers can wrap around the big toes. Some will place the hands underneath the feet, palms down. That's more challenging. But if that's available, I've got a little baby bend to the knees, chin is in. Any residual tension, any unnecessary stiffness, tightness is going to slide right off. And we'll hold for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now, please, anybody you have, let it go. All right, let's go ahead and bring our feet back. Coming back to the table. Whatever that table reset is, because now we lower to the right hip or the left hip. We're coming back to seated. Legs come around to the front. Maintain this regal posture, thinking about what kind of jump into this. So let's see if we can let the spine left arm to go by the ears, and we'll have our seated forward fold. Leg bent to the knees. This is where an old necktie or an old belt, something that doesn't stretch, you can put it around the balls of the feet to help find this hamstring stretch as we hold for 4. Breathing into that for 3. Here's 2. Now let's walk the hands up the outstretched legs. Okay, a little core work. Make sure you got room behind you. The toes point, fingertips reach, and we're going to start to lower down. And we'll pause at this position for 3. Nice. Energy through the fingers and toes, almost there for 2. Now 1, rise back up. We have 3 more of those. The exhale will come down another vertebra or 2 lower to right about here. Nice. We'll hold for 3. Breathing steady into that for 2. Soften the throat, soften the jaw. Now on 1, we'll rise back up. All right, maybe a little shimmy to reset. Exhale, we'll come in another vertebra or 2 lower. Here we go. Holding for 4. Maybe a little shaking, a lot of energy through toes and fingertips for 3. That's you guys. Stronger, more resilient than we think we are for 2. On 1, rise on up. Okay. The last version. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, you can come down as low as you can go. Variations is bringing forearms to the mat, or maybe grab the hamstrings. But this is the low boat as we go for 5. Nice. Here we go for 4. A lot of energy here for 3. Just almost there for 2. Now, please on 1, lower all the way down. Okay, please extend the fingertips to the back of the mat. You can point the feet, point the toes, or flex the feet, maybe give the ankles. I heard somebody call it spirit fingers. Do we call it spirit toes as well? Inhale lengthens you a bit more, but on the exhale, right knee in only. So the right knee comes in. For me, I'm so tight, I have to lengthen my shoulder bit, but I've got to bind. Grabbing the shins, maybe grab the knee. I'm going to suggest we keep the left foot flexed. Left calf is glued to the floor. Left hand guides that right knee across the midline over towards the left side. I'm going to gaze out over the right shoulder. Okay, hello, spinal twist. I'm so tight through the hips, my right shoulder blade wants to lift off of the mat. That's okay. I'm doing the best job to find that release. So we have the twist. We'll hold for 3. Ooh, there's a pop. Breathing into that for 2. Now on 1, come back to center, please. Gaze back to the ceiling. Rebind that right knee. Recommit to the left leg. Right leg goes stick straight to the ceiling. So here's a chance to bind behind the right thigh, behind the right knee, maybe behind the right calf. Relax the shoulders. Opportunity is on the exhale, peel the shoulder blades in the back of the head off the mat. So that brings forehead towards knee, chin towards chin as you maybe adjust the bind. Elbows are going to come in alignment with that right leg. Yeah. Keep going for 4. Nice. Adjust your bind if it's possible for 3. Recommit to that left foot, almost there for 2. All right, on 1, shoulder blades in the back of the mat. Rebind, rebend that right knee. And then release it. Left knee comes in. Shoulder blades in the back of the head return to the surface of the mat. Right foot is flexed, right calf is glued. Hello, can opener on this side. I know maybe you guys don't remember that off the diving board. Can opener, get a big splash. Okay, here we go. Right hand guides that left knee across the midline over towards the right. Gaze is steadily over the left side body. Left shoulder, left elbow, left fingertips. Left shoulder blade might be doing what it does to pop a little bit. Just notice, observe, breathe. Hold for 4. Breathe steady into that for 3. Almost there for 2. Okay, with control, let's come back to center. Rebind that left knee, recommit to that right foot. All right, left leg goes to the ceiling. Thigh, knee, or calf is where the bind will land. Nice. Once that's set up, let's peel the shoulder blades in the back. Adjust your bind. Let the elbows not flare out, but let the elbows come tucked into that outstretched left leg. As we go for 4. Let's breathe steady into that for 3. Drawing energy through that right heel, so we're there as well for 2. All right, on 1, shoulder blades in the back of the head return. Left knee bends. Bring the right knee down to bend as well. Ooh, yeah. Nice. Shaking that out a bit. Good job, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and windshield wiper the knees a little bit side to side. Actually, let's heel toe the feet towards the edges of the mat. Heel toe, and let's just windshield wiper the knees sides. Release to the hips and the low back as we swish for 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Okay, as you come back to center, heel toe your feet back into what is about hip distance. If it feels better to keep the knees bent, feel free. If you want a butterfly pose, the legs, that's an option. Or extend right ankle, right corner, left ankle, left corner, and we release. We relax and let go. About 3.5 minutes to simply unwind in this total posture, releasing, relaxing. And notice any residual tension. If there's some stiffness, some tightness. Let it go. Let it drip into the mat. micro movements if you need to. And then you come back to stillness and that strength in the stillness and power in this pause. Please. In our yoga folks, let's do this. Make a peace symbol with both hands. Index finger and middle finger on the right hand, connect. Index finger and middle finger on the left hand, connect. Bend the elbows and bring those finger pads to the temples. So it's just a little self-massage. So we've got peace symbol with the fingers connected as we circle in one direction at the temples. Reverse it, circle the other way. Release the hands anywhere they want to go. Let's go to the other end of the body. Suggestion is to find spirit toes, wiggle the toes, windshield wiper the ankles. If the legs have been bent, you can straighten them. Maybe the head now can move from side to side. But eventually, let's, on your next in-breath, draw both knees in. So this is our signal. We're about to bind because I have to lift my shoulder blades off the mat because I'm so tight. Yeah, you might rock and roll from side to side. You might rock and roll front to back. If you do, tuck the chin in towards the chest. But eventually, some prefer to stay on the back. Others will find a fetal position. For me, it's floating onto my right side as my right arm becomes a little shelf, a little pillow. I've got my left hand just in front of my heart center. Renewal posture, we call it. This is fetal position. We all began at one point, right? We're all in this position at some point before entering this world. Now, please press into whatever or however you want to find seated. So I'm going to press up. I'm going to grab my meditation cushion as support for my bum. Recross the legs or sit in whatever position, whatever seated posture suit. We can close out, seal this practice in the traditional fashion. A few moments to get nicely reorganized. Give yourself a moment to reassess. Back to your intention, back to your purpose, back to your intention, your purpose, desire. Maybe it is that idea of between stimulus and response is space. Okay. And in that traditional fashion, we're close. This is borrowing from a retired pastor, long-time retired pastor here in central Indiana, the Indianapolis area, Dr. Kent Millard. The permission to edit his benediction ever so slightly. It goes like this. We draw the hands to the heart center to acknowledge this space, but closing is like this. Whatever source of power and strength we find individually and collectively, whether it be God, higher power, creative intelligence, universe, whatever that might be, may that source of power and strength help us to become masters of ourselves so we may serve others. May that source of power and strength take our minds and think through them. May it take our lips and speak through them. And may that source of power and strength take our hearts and set them on fire. Namaste, DNR yoga folks. Namaste. Thank you all. Questions, comments, feedback, please let me know. You can email me, put something in the chat. Until next session, drink lots of water. Be well.